Welcome back to Ozarks Live. It's time to discuss another episode of Color 10's podcast, Crime Traveler. Once again, we have digital content producer for Color 10, Tony Nguyen. Tony, how you doing? Good to see you.
Good. How are you guys?
We are very good.
Fine.
And we're eager to hear about what's coming up this week. Before he talks in depth about it, take a listen real quick.
It's July 12th, 2001. Color 10 anchor and reporter Melissa Moon is sent to cover a story about a 19-year-old woman, Amanda Morton. Morton, originally from Stratford, Missouri, has been missing for several hours.
Relatives began distributing flyers all over town with her description. Amanda's parents, meanwhile, had been waiting anxiously by the phone to hear from their daughter or anyone who might know what happened to her.
Her car was found just after 1 a.m. at the Highway 125 exit off I-44. Minutes earlier, Morton phoned her sister to tell her she had just been rear-ended. She also called the Highway Patrol to report the accident. A few minutes later, a Stratford officer found the abandoned vehicle and called Morton's parents.
The main thing that I noticed that bothered me was the fact that her driver's license and her purse were right there on the front seat. That's not something she'd walk off and leave.
I remember when that happened, and it's just a heartbreaking, chilling story. Talk about producing this particular episode, Tony.
Yeah, like you said, it's one of those episodes that it really sticks with you because Amanda really didn't do anything wrong. I mean, like it said, she just got rear-ended and rolled down her window, and that was her biggest mistake. You know, it was in the middle of the night, but David Zink took advantage of that, and unfortunately, it ended the way that it did, with her murder, and yeah, it's a sad story.
It's a very sad story, and I know a lot of people in our viewing area certainly remember it. Definitely remember the name Amanda Morton.
And they remember Zink too.
Oh yeah.
I mean that by all intents and purposes, by all accounts anyway, just an evil person.
Yeah, and if you listen to the episode, we actually have his confession there, in which he talks about the whole thing. And honestly, it's so. I mean, if you're into seeing the interviews of people who are sick, this is pretty much the pinnacle of it.
Yeah, I mean, we saw one of the clips there. He's smiling. He's actually smiles at different points.
Yeah, he was proud to do it. He knew he was going to go to jail, and so he figured he might as well go for a better reason than just messing with his probation.
I know when you go back through the archives to research these stories, and there's so many stories because it unfolds over a while.
Yeah.
You know, you've got the original disappearance, and then you've got finding her, and then you have the trial and everything else that goes with it. Did you learn anything new? We always ask that, but a lot of times there's something people learn that they just didn't know before.
Honestly, what was the newest thing was just the actual details of everything that he did, and that's sort of the information you wanted to know, but then when you hear it, you're like, I wish I didn't know this, because it was very gruesome.
I was going to ask, was there anything that stood out to you? But those kind of things, it's like the whole deal, really.
Yeah, definitely.
So as for this series, several of these you've done, and they're just very, very well done. A real look back into history here in the Ozarks and some of the things that have happened. One of these, how often do you release these again?
This is every Tuesday.
Okay.
We'll have a new episode.
Every Tuesday. So this one will actually drop probably midnight tonight or tomorrow? Or?
Yeah, you can catch it pretty much midnight tonight or tomorrow morning.
Yeah. Okay, tell people where to find this. If they want to go, and I would recommend you go back and listen to all of them.
Yeah, if you go to ozarksfirst.com, that's the best way, especially if you want to see all of the behind-the-scenes things that we've done, collecting old stories, photos if you want to know what these people look like, and then, of course, any of your, however you listen to podcasts, that's obviously the best way to also listen to the story in its entirety.
All right, very good. Tony, good
Thanks,
work.
Tony.
Thank you so
Thanks.
much.
Very good.